a century. She's since passed on. Dr. Virginia Livingston. She had the Livingston Center in the western part of the United States. She actually focused in on the meats that cause the most tumor growth, the most cancer, and clearly demonstrated without any doubt that chicken created more cancer than every other vile form of meat that one may be eating. Now again, no meat is a good meat. A human is not meant to consume it. But what happens in our culture is we're all moderate and we really don't want to make changes. So the big trend has been over the decades is, well, we don't eat meat, we eat chicken. Well, guess what? If you want cancer, chicken's actually better for you than red meat. And so maybe you made a good choice if you want cancer. But if you don't want cancer, you ought not to be eating chicken. And chicken happens to be meat, by the way. I know that it's not as large an animal and you don't see it as you drive down a highway. They usually hide it. But the truth of the matter is, it's a more vile meat than even red meat. And so watch yourself. Don't think that you're a plant-based eater if you eat chicken or fish. Fish is horrible also, by the way. If anyone ever read the National Geographic article with a brilliant young writer, journalist, when he went to the finest fish restaurant in San Francisco with, beforehand, a relatively low amount of mercury, and after eating salmon, taken from the great north as they always advertise, he had 4 times, I think, the amount of mercury that the government said can be in the body before you get really sick. The other myth is that fish is a great source of omega oils. Now, grant you, it has omega oils, not really refined omega oils, and they're also intermixed with saturated fat, the same saturated fat you get from steak. Any animal, any creature, including you, has saturated fat in you. And the more saturated fat eating other animals and drinking their milk you take, the more saturated fat you have, and the more cancer, and the more cardiovascular disease, and the more diabetes, and et cetera, will you have. So don't think that you're getting good oils and fats from fish, and even some of you are wise enough to think you're getting it from chicken. Basically give both up because you're getting saturated fat. If you want good omega oils, chia seeds, sprouts, hemp seeds, and in other countries in the world there's sprouts. These are true sources of it. Flaxseed sprouts, walnuts, really tasty, wonderful things that give you a full spectrum of really digestible and usable